This is a podcast about one woman's mission to help entrepreneurs and business owners write better business books. Each week, we tackle your writing excuses, because there are excuses too, and help you beat the blank page of doom so that you can write the book that'll grow your life and your business. Now here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hello and welcome to the 1000 Authors Show. I am Vicky Quinn Fraser and I'm back with Joe.
Hello.
Yay! By the time you listen to this, we'll have already done Fright Night and had a whale of a time. And if all of my makeup had arrived for my Fright Night Halloween outfit, I would have done myself in my makeup. But as it is, I'm afraid you get two really bad headdresses.
Spider hats.
Some cheap skeleton decorations, because I haven't yet finished decorating. Anyway, by the time you listen to this, it's going to be Halloween tomorrow.
Yes.
Or maybe today.
Who knows?
Listening to it the next day. Happy Halloween. Okay, if you want in on the next Write Night, though, it's January the 28th, 2022. So put that in your diary, and you can get your tickets at moxiebooks.co.uk/Write Night. So come and do that, because it's an awesome evening. You can go and have a look. If you've got questions, ask me, but it's awesome.
Cool.
So, Joe, what are you reading at the moment?
I am reading a thing I found on the Kindle, which is Lord of the Silver Bow by David Gemmell.
And it's part of the Troy series.
Part of the Troy series. I've read a few things of David Gemmell in the past, I think.
Is it like historical fiction?
It's historical fiction, and it is very... It's quite... I tend to read books before I fall asleep, so I quite like... nothing too challenging. And it's nice. It's good. I like it. Enjoying it.
It's good. It's about Odysseus, isn't it?
About Odysseus and various ships and King Agamemnon and all that lot. But told in a very sort of ongoing story kind of way.
Yeah.
Like it.
It's good. I read it years ago. I am reading Let's Explore Diabetes with Owls by David Sedaris, which is another book of his essays.
Cool.
Which I am, of course, enjoying because he is just a brilliant writer. This is much more of an insight into his family life and his world growing up, and it's a bit sad in some ways. Like, his dad was harsh, man. And the other book that I'm reading at the moment, because I've always got at least two on the go, is Play by Dr. Stuart Brown.
Okay.
Which I'm really enjoying because it's all about the importance of play for creativity and problem solving and general well-being.
Cool.
And it starts off with a story about a doggo, and then it moves on to another story about a polar bear that doesn't eat a doggo but instead plays with the doggo. And yeah, it's just very good. Nice. Yeah. And it vindicated me as well, because you know how the other day when we were building the joists on the floor and listening to music, and you were like, can you just stop singing and dancing and solve this problem? Because I was what I do when there's songs on is I make up words to songs. So for example, like, how we gonna fit this joist? I don't know what's going on. And I will make up a song like that, won't I? That is what I do.
Yes. Usually halfway through a conversation when we're trying to do something.
And anyway,
it's endearing. It's super endearing.
So Joe was like, can you just stop and help me solve this problem? And I was like, this is how I solve problems. And then 30 seconds later, I was like, why don't we do this? And you said, oh, that's a great idea. And so we did that. And so, no, basically. But I was vindicated by reading that book, which is exactly how creativity and problem solving works, dude.
Cool.
I know it's annoying, you just have to live with it. So this week at Casa Dingle, we have built a floor structure.
Hooray!
We're really proud of it.
It's really good.
It's the most solid thing in the house.
It is going to survive the next couple of 100 years, I reckon.
Hope so. We've been deciding what to do next, actually, just before we started recording this podcast.
Yes.
We took Noodle to the vet again, because he's had an abscess on his head.
Because he keeps getting into fights.
Yeah.
Possibly with his sister.
I think Whiskey did that to him. And we lost Bobble the chicken. We had a chicken who's been poorly for a few days, so you took her to the vet, didn't you? And she did not come back.
The vet was like, that's a dead chicken. One way or another, that's a dead chicken.
And we were really sad because Bobble has been a rescue chicken, and she's a lovely, lovely girl. She was always super friendly, but she always struggled. She never really grew her feathers back. She was always seemed to be fighting off something else.
A bit underweight and a bit under the weather all the time.
Yeah, and that's kind of comes with the territory of rescuing chickens, really.
Yeah.
But we're a bit sad about that.
It's sad to see her go.
Yeah. So.
But, she got a bit of a retirement. She got out of the factory. She saw some grass. She saw some sky.
Yeah.
She had some freedom and some friends.
The other chickens give no shits.
They do not care.
Which is a bit upsetting also.
It's just chickens for you, really.
Okay, so this week we are introducing a new feature into the podcast.
New feature.
Because I have started... Don't know what happened to my H then. I have started my MA in creative writing. I have started my master's. And I'm already really enjoying it. So I thought that I could share some of my insights into creative nonfiction, because that's what I'm specialising in. Creative nonfiction with a side order of poetry. We're not doing the poetry until, I don't know when, but not now. But I'm doing creative nonfiction. And so I thought that I would share some of my insights with you. Now, my original idea was to read out pieces that I've written, but I've just been reading through the pieces that I've written so far as part of the course. And I really don't want to read them out loud on the podcast. So I don't know. What do you think, Joe? Do you think I should read one? And just get over myself?
I don't know. I mean, maybe you should.
I don't know. I do not know. Go away. Not...
Easy target.
A thing just popped up on my screen. Yeah, okay. So here was the activity. Here was the assignment that we had to do. So I don't know, I'll kind of just share the assignment, because this is a useful thing. So you can jot down ideas for a work of nonfiction. It could initially be about taking up a skill or a hobby. Maybe it'll be driven by, I don't know, some achievement that you've had in life, or an interest, or something that's just around you. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's like an interesting coffee mug or something.
Okay.
You could talk about. So jot down a few ideas, and then pick one of the most promising ideas. And so after that, using either the first person or the third person, we were to draft an opening for this piece of work, 500 or 600 words worth. And so this was all about kind of looking at how you use pronouns and the use of I and you, and how that changes a piece of writing, and how it changes the feel of a piece of writing, and how you can swap between the first and third person as well.
Okay.
I feel like now I need to read something to explain what it is.
Yeah, this is sounding really weird.
Okay, cool. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to. Okay. Managing pronouns. Here we go.
Oh, my goodness.
So. Oh, my God. Should I do it? Maybe you should do it.
No. I should do it. Okay.
Here is my piece of writing. You wouldn't think trapeze has much to do with writing, not at first glance. But you'd be surprised. It's not just the creativity of the thing. That much is obvious. Building a dance on a trapeze is an act of creation, and so is building a story on paper. They have more in common than an act of creation, though. Take the bruises. If you want to become good at trapeze, you get bruised. Purple, blue, sickly green flowers blossom on thighs, calves, and upper arms. Bracelets of violent violet crawl out of sleeves and creep onto the backs of hands. Strangers frown and look away, wanting to ask if everything's okay, but not doing so because we don't talk about bruises or scars or our personal stories. These bruises, though, are badges of honour. They're visible signs of growth, because when you have mastered a move, it doesn't hurt anymore. It doesn't leave its mark, and there's little growth to be had in that place. And as for writing, it might not leave visible bruises, although there are those times when I'm so lost in thought that I walk into my desk, clattering my hip bone on the corner and inventing exciting new swear words involving improbable intimate acts between weasels and cockroaches, but it sure as hell leaves bruises on the psyche. Because, damn it, it hurts to grow. There's a reason that they're called growing pains. It hurts to sit there in front of the blank page of doom while your inner voice, the voice of every adult who ever told you that you couldn't, whispers sweet poison into your ears. It hurts to realise that I'll never be Anne Patchett or David Sedaris or Bernardine Evaristo. And it hurts even more to put your work out there in public, which we have to do if we want it to get better. That goes for trapeze performances and writing. We create it and we let it go, and we wait for the feelings to come rushing back to us. When they do, they bruise. The criticism, even helpful and well-intentioned criticism, feels like standing on Lego. The suggestions for improvement scold like a tap turned on while you're in the shower. And if we can bear to read it back, our own criticisms are worst of all. And so, when I'm standing on that stage waiting for the lights to go up and the music to start, when I'm hovering over the publish button with my latest essay, I remind myself that bruises mean growth. The criticism is there to help me improve. The only way to get better is to become who you are, not who someone else is. And I remind myself that this isn't for me, it's for you, and I am grateful for you.
Nice.
I'm not that impressed with it. But hopefully you can see the switching between you and I throughout. It's a little bit of an experimental...
It's a little bit of an experimental...
It's a little bit of an experimental piece, because it's the whole point is to switch between pronouns and see how that choice of pronoun affects what you're writing about. So the you can mean I, if that makes sense. So yeah, and I got some feedback on that, which was really helpful. I've just scrolled away from it, which is not helpful. So some of the feedback that I didn't include the feedback for that, but some of the feedback I had was on things that I could improve, sentences that could be cut, that kind of thing. And it's really important. So play with pronouns, play with the way your writing style changes, and then share it with people so that they can help you improve. But now, on to the main event, which is a request. I took a request. I had an email from Mira. Hi, Mira.
Hi, Mira.
Who is writing her book, which is very exciting. And she had asked me about email marketing.
Okay.
And I thought it's been a long... I look back through all of the old podcasts. It's been a long, long time since we've done an episode on email marketing.
Sure.
So, email marketing for authors.
Go.
You go.
Oh.
Just totally dropped Joe on the spot.
Not fair. Why email marketing? What? Why
Why email marketing?
Why email marketing?
Well, for a lot of really good reasons. What's it for? It's for selling stuff and building relationships.
Okay.
Not necessarily in that order. But also, it's really important. I've been doing email marketing for about 300 years now. I've had an email list since, I think, 2014, which is a couple of years after I started my business.
A long time ago.
It's a long time ago. And I've been emailing my list at least once a week, actually several times a week, ever since then. That's a lot of emails. And for a long time, I emailed every single day.
Yes.
That's a lot of emails. And the reason that I do it, the reason I have my own email list is because it's mine. I own it. Like that list of names and email addresses, I always have access to that. But my followers on Instagram, my connections on LinkedIn, if my account gets stuffed or shut down for whatever reason,
sure,
I lose that platform. And so it's called digital sharecropping. Building your business on somebody else's platform. It could be taken away from you at any time. And I've seen it happen to people. I've seen it happen to especially people who run their pole dancing businesses and market them exclusively on Facebook and Instagram. The patriarchy in all of its glory likes to ban women's nipples. Not men's nipples. Men's nipples are fine. But it likes to ban women's nipples and women's flesh.
Too many pink pixels.
Too many pink pixels. Unless, of course, it's men sharing pornographic stuff, in which case that's fine. But women sharing their own kind of videos and images and things, that tends to get shadow banned or outright shit canned. And I've seen people's businesses really struggle because of that. And so whilst that is, that issue is a separate issue that needs addressing, it's also, the reason why you shouldn't base all of your marketing on somebody else's.
It's in other people's control.
It's under other people's control, yeah. It's a very precarious place to be. And if you have your email list, that's yours. Now, I do stuff on Instagram, I do stuff on LinkedIn, and I have my email list. But my aim is always to get people, if I possibly can, onto my email list. I directly sell through Instagram and LinkedIn as well. But, the thing that I'm always going to find most valuable is my email list. So,
okay.
Other reasons that email marketing is awesome. It gives you a safe place to practice. So if you're writing a book, once you've printed your book, it's there, sitting there, finished. You can't go in and edit it. It's done. And whilst that is awesome, it's also terrifying. So it gives you a place to practice, test your words out, test your chapters out, test your ideas out on a group of people who are mostly friendly. I say mostly friendly because I have in the past been told to fuck off and die. Nice. I've been told that I've had my parentage questioned. I've been told that I'm going to hell directly without passing go, amongst a bunch of other stuff. But mostly, like 99% of the interactions I have with people on my email list are really positive.
Sure.
And so it's a really good place for you to test out your ideas, the ideas that you want to put in your book.
Okay.
How often should you email? That is another question that I get quite a lot, or I used to get. At least once a week, or people will tend to forget who you are. I would suggest I email at least 3 times a week. Depends. It's like, I'm not going to say email every day. I used to say email every day. I have since pulled my head out of my butt and, said that's not for everybody. But I do think once a week is a good amount of time, because every now and then I'll get an email from a company that I must have signed up for at some point. I have no idea who they are because they've never emailed me since then. And so the first thing I usually do is unsubscribe.
Sure.
So you want to be emailing regularly, but honestly, consistency is more important than frequency. That's Noodle. Noodle agrees. So yeah, I would say once a week is a good place to start. 2 or 3 times a week if you want to.
Okay, sure.
I've also been asked, and the reason that I was requested to find some email marketing resources and talk about it a little bit is because they were like, oh, well, what can I write? I don't know what to write. How much stuff can I come up with? And my answer to that is literally anything, which is not a helpful answer. So you can practice your storytelling skills. So if you've got a story to tell that you want to test out, maybe it'll go in your book. Or if you've got a story about writing your book, behind the scenes stuff people are really interested in, talk about what it's like to write a book, talk about your book writing process. You could write serial stories like Charles Dickens used to do. That's not a new thing. Like people, I think there's Kindle have just pinged out a thing where you can now put serials on and release serials, which is awesome. But there's so many people who are like, oh, this great new thing. It's not new. It's very, very old.
It's amazing. I'm amazed it's taken them that long to get it sorted.
I'm amazed it's taken them that long. Yeah. And was a Christmas Carol originally a serial?
A lot of Dickens was.
A lot of Dickens was, because he published it was it in Punch magazine, I think?
Maybe.
I can't remember. But he published a lot of his stories in serial form, so we would write them chapter by chapter and release them. You can do that. That's actually a really good idea, because it keeps people coming back, and you can put email lists as well behind a paywall, by the way. I'm a member of a couple of paid for email lists that I pay $5 a month for, because because that's the way they run their business, and I want them.
And it's valuable.
And it's valuable to me, yeah. And so, you can monetize your email list like that as well. That's perfectly acceptable. You can use your email list to build anticipation for your books as well. So if you've got a book coming up and you want to talk about it, build a bit of excitement, get people on a waiting list for it already.
How do you get people onto your email list?
Good question. So there are a bunch of ways to do it, but your website needs to have a really prominent way for people to get on your email list. So most websites these days, if you go on to them, you can sign up for their email newsletters, right? It's a good idea to give people an incentive. You don't have to. I've signed up to people's email list because I've been following them on Instagram or whatever.
Because you're interested in them. Yeah.
And they don't give you an incentive. It's just like, oh, do you want to just get on my email list and hear about all the awesome stuff that I do? It's like, yeah, actually I do. Other people I've signed up because they've given me an incentive, like a freebie or a download or something like that. You can do either or. So that's the way to do it. And actually, I am gonna at the end talk a little bit about my freebie that you can come and come and have, which is my free 29-day writing challenge.
Okay.
Which is a perfect example of something that's perfect for me, because I want to get people in the habit of writing. I want them to realise that they can write their book, they can do it every day. And writing a little something every day is the perfect way to do that. It's free. You can go to moxiebooks.co.uk/29-day-writing-challenge, because I can't create URLs. That link is in the show notes. Totally free to sign up for. But yeah, you can bring people in by offering them something like that.
Cool. So if you want to do a bit of writing, you want to build a writing habit, Moxiebooks Co.uk 29-day writing challenge.
Yeah, you get 29 days worth of prompts from me to get you to think about things to write about. I know Noodle.
Noodle
it's
is
very exciting.
Deeply unhappy with this whole thing.
No, Noodle's very excited. Noodle is on the wrong side of a door. He's not happy about what's going on this desk. And you can also, the great thing about email marketing is you can also repurpose your content for social media, articles, podcasts, that kind of thing. Pretty much every email that I put out also makes its way onto social media at some point, often on the same day, because I was going to say I'm lazy. I know you would object to that, but I don't want to do more work than I need to do. So yeah, that is a little very quick introduction in email marketing for authors, why you should be doing it, or at least considering it, and how you might want to get started.
Nice.
Any more questions, do you think?
Well, if there are any more questions, people can email in with them and we will cover it.
Yeah, email your questions in about email marketing for authors. We would love for you to ask us questions. And by the way, when I have a new website, there's going to be a function on the website for people to be able to speak their questions directly into the website.
Blimey.
I know, right? that's going to be very exciting, because I think people are like, oh yeah, I've got a question, but I just can't be asked to email it to Vicky, which is reasonable. I mean, we're busy. If you do want to email it to me, vicky@moxiebooks.co.uk, or you can find me on Instagram at tinybeetlesteps and just drop me a DM and ask me a question there, or find me on LinkedIn. Just find me with my name on LinkedIn and ask me a question. That'd be cool. But yeah, start yourself an email list.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, very important, actually. Last thing that I forgot to put in the notes. Don't just have a list in like Excel or something and then email it from your personal email address, because that is very, very bad and also illegal. You need to comply with GDPR. So you can sign up for something like MailChimp is a really good thing to start with. It's free until you get to a certain number of subscribers. So you don't even need to spend any money on this.
Yeah.
It's cool. Cool. Coming up next week, I've written down telling lies to get at the truth.
Sounds good.
I don't know whether that's going to be the thing we talk about or not. Let's find out.
Next week.
Yeah. In the meantime, though, go and sign up for my free 29-day writing challenge at moxiebooks.co.uk/29-day writing challenge with hyphens in between. Link in show notes. If you like this podcast, please go and subscribe and rate and review us.
5 stars.
5 stars. And if you've listened to every episode, email me with your postal address and I will send you a special gift. Otherwise, happy Halloween, everybody.
See you next week.
Make a ghost noise. Oh my God, we should have had your hood and then you could have done Emperor Palpatine. Every single year.
He's not very Halloweeny though, is he? Really?
Yes, he is.
Star Wars Halloween? Really?
Yes.
I don't know.
Every Halloween I say this, and every Halloween we forget.
Right, somebody needs to open the door for Noodle before he explodes.
Cool. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. I really appreciate you spending time with us on this podcast. Means a lot to us. So does Noodle. Noodle says goodbye. And goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from him.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening. You can find links and show notes on the website at moxiebooks.co.uk/podcast, where you can also sign up for the best daily emails in the multiverse and find loads of free resources to help you write your book. We'll be back the same time next week with more tales from the book writing trenches and the latest on what the tiny sheeps have been up to.